You're listening to the Light Novel Podcast. Visit us online at lightnovelpodcast.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Light Novel Podcast. I am Justus R, and tonight we're doing something altogether different. It's kind of like a mashup of our podcast, a bit of like a tabletop gaming, which, seeing as how tabletop gaming kind of helped give birth to some pretty big light novels, I guess it's appropriate. This is kind of like just to do something fun and different because we've been around for more than a year and, well, you know, we just felt like trying something different. With me tonight, I have Biogundam.
We've been doing this shit for a year. Fuck my life.
Sorry. I have Jean-Luc.
Hi, everyone.
I've got Kyle.
Hola!
Every time I introduce you, Kyle, I just want to go, hola, before you do, just because. Mirage is with us.
Hi.
And lucky for Mirage, I don't think it's 3 o'clock in the morning where he is right now.
No, only 1:30.
Oh, ouch. Sorry, dude. And I've got Terrence.
Yo.
Unfortunately, flies, and it looks like Tom could not be with us tonight. We tried to get everybody together, but it's kind of tricky to get around 8 people's schedules. So we did what we could. In any case, we will first start off with the news. Thankfully, there's not too much, although we may end up talking about at least a couple things. First off, right off the top, we'll talk about some Cross-Infinite World news. First off, they have announced that they are going to be publishing 8 of their books in print. So they've been a digital company, only digital until now, much like J-Novel Club. And much like J-Novel Club, they are finally putting some of their titles out in print, which I think is pretty cool. I know I've heard from a number of people that they were like, I'd like to give this a try, but I don't want to do digital. So good to see them starting to expand their business, especially because most of their titles are quite different from what we're getting from a lot of other, like from the main sort of publishers. They do a lot more like shoujo type titles, otome based gaming and stuff like that. So yeah. Also, they have announced that they've got a new title coming out. This one called The Werewolf Count and the Trickster Tailor. I don't care if you are a man. Let me court you. Rock's whole life is shaken when a werewolf shows up at her shop in the middle of the night, asking for more than just clothes. This is a paranormal romantic comedy about a young count, who's actually a werewolf, passionately wooing a tailor who's living in the slums, who's actually a woman and disguising herself as a man so she can survive. Can two people who live double lives and find love and acceptance with each other?
This werewolf sounds like a Shadow Lord from Werewolf the Apocalypse.
It's that guy from, it's Vite from Der Werewolf. No, I'm just kidding. Crossover title. No.
This seems like very much a girl's title.
I'm sure it very much is. Like, it's got the gender bending, like he wants to woo the tailor. He thinks the tailor is a dude, but the tailor's actually a girl. I don't know.
I'm not sure if he thinks that.
Well, I don't know. It says, like, the bold line that they have is, I don't care if you are a man, let me court you. So it makes it sound like the werewolf does think that she is a dude. So it kind of sounds like it's a bit shoujo, a bit gender bend, maybe a little bit like it's not yaoi because they're not two guys, but the one fact that the one guy thinks that the other one is a dude kind of makes it yaoi, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it sounds like it blends a whole bunch of different stuff together. So that could be one to check out if you want to see something very different.
Yeah, he's hungry like the wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Were you even alive when Duran Duran put that song out? Like, seriously? Okay.
It depends. It depends what you classify as age, because
Okay.
Did they announce the other one, the Labyrinth Angel one? Did we announce that on a previous podcast?
Yeah,
I don't
we did
think
that
so.
on the previous.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah, I know. We're not that far behind. The Eminence in Shadow. This is actually a title that we're going to be getting from Yen on. It is getting a manga spin-off that is called Shadow Gaiden. I didn't really see any details about what exactly the spin-off manga is going to be about. This is the one about the dude who is all obsessed with, like, well, he's a chuny basically, and he's all obsessed with secret organizations and people who operate in the shadow and stuff like that. And then he gets Isekai, and then he talks a bunch of crap and people believe him, and so it's a big comedy. So it's getting a manga spin-off. The light novel sounds entertaining. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
it almost reminds me of like Hoagie and Kiyoma, son of a bitch from Steins Gate, except everyone takes it seriously.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. All right. Kagerou Days. This one series. It's over. It's done, and it's getting a sequel. Although this one is not getting a light novel sequel. It's getting a sequel in anime, manga, and music, which, if you are familiar with the original Kagerou Days, it was basically all of those things plus light novels. In fact, I think it started as light novels and then started as music, then it was a light novel, and then the manga and anime. I think that's how it went. Anyway, it was kind of a trippy series, but it was cool. I liked it. Anyway, it's getting a sequel, and supposedly the author is working on a new light novel that's not connected to Kagerou Days, which I guess is why it's not getting a light novel for this spin-off. J-Novel Club. They're going to be, well, they're already releasing, but because we're a little bit behind, so it is. They're releasing JK Haru Is a Sex Worker in Another World Summer, the sequel to JK Haru, a novel that we keep threatening. I don't know whether we should say we keep promising, threatening, or I don't know, to do an episode on. I guess it depends on your feeling on the topic.
Well,
this
I'm
one,
game.
Oh, I know you are.
Yeah, I'd be down to talk about the life of a working woman.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and yeah. Did you guys, so this one, JK Haru Is a Sex Worker in Another World, got a manga. Did you guys check out the preview of the manga?
Nope.
No.
I posted it on Twitter. Yeah,
I did.
because when it was announced that it was going to be a manga, we were kind of like, I wonder what they'll do. Yeah, it's don't read it where people can see you reading it. Like, it's not hardcore hentai, but it doesn't leave a lot to the imagination. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, how can you do otherwise with the source material?
Well, I know. I kind of wondered if they would do, like,
To black or
yeah,
something.
fade to black, show just like close-ups on a face, or you know what I mean. Like, anyway, whatever. It's yeah. Don't read it where like kids or people that you want to respect you will see you. Sisters, All You Need. This one, light novel series that we are currently getting in English from Yen on, has a manga adaptation which apparently is ending in July. There's really not much else to say about that. Then I will talk about, I guess, this one. Seven Seas has licensed a new light novel series. Now, this was the one, like, when we recorded Tanya, remember we were like, oh, tomorrow Seven Seas is going to announce 5 titles. Yeah, they announced 5 titles, and 4 of them were manga and 1 light novel, so it was a little disappointing, and I've never heard of this one. So it's a magic user reborn in another world as a max level wizard. This one, a man in his 40s who was once a tabletop RPG fanatic has settled into an ordinary job and life of a salaryman. All of that changes when he's tossed into a parallel world by a mysterious entity and finds himself in the form of Geo Margils, his max-level wizard character from the classic tabletop RPG Dungeons and Brave. Can he successfully rise to the role of a hero when he's living as his wizard PC? Don't miss this light novel adventure for gaming fans, both new and old. And I love how they say, like, a fresh isekai adventure for fans of classic tabletop RPGs. I kind of like,
But Justice, which edition is this?
I don't know, man.
The other is a visionary.
Oh,
It's about me in 2 years.
I'm not quite sure about the title because it makes it seem a magic user is reborn in another world as a max level magician.
It makes it sound like he's already a magic user, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It does. It's kind of weird how it's been titled, but I mean, I can only go by with what they went with. I have no idea. Yeah, I know nothing about this. I just thought it was kind of interesting that, like, considering almost all Japanese RPG video games basically are borrowing and melded based on tabletop RPG gaming, I was kind of like, I don't really see where the whole tabletop thing makes it that much different. But
I know that Shadowrun 4th Ed is very popular in Japan. Like, Shadowrun 4th Ed is like the shit in Japan.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what, like, maybe it'll have different mechanics. Like, maybe he actually has to roll the dice to see if he pulls off his OP spells or not. I don't know.
It kind of reminds me of that new publisher label in Japan, the Dragon Novels label. Like, when that kind of got announced, we were kind of like, what are they going to do that's kind of different? Because we do have stories that are based sort of in a similar fantasy world as tabletop stuff.
Yeah.
But at least they're taking, established properties, whereas this one sounds like it's made up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, has
has
anyone here read the Dragonlance Chronicles?
Yep. It's been a few decades, but I've read them, yes.
Yeah, I read, like, the original 3 books of the Dragonlance Chronicles, and basically that was like a D&D campaign turned into novel format. Like, this book could be a similar thing, but they're just putting, like, the whole isekai trope as well and just having everyone at, like level 20.
Okay. So it'll be interesting to see how that flies and what it does different. Then the last thing that happened in our sort of between recording sessions, and I know this one kicked up a little bit of a storm on Twitter. Overlord author Kugane Maruyama expressing frustration at fan translations. I don't know if any of... So basically...
Yeah, I heard about that, and I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole, so...
Well, I mean, you know what? He was like... I mean, I didn't read all of his exact quotes because, of course, I'm only getting a third party because I can't read Japanese. But the gist of what I got was that he talked about that he was upset that there were people essentially stealing the book and doing fan translations when there was official stuff out there, and that he had suggested that he might end the series earlier than expected. Apparently he said initially he was going to have 18 volumes, and now apparently he said he might only do 17. And there seemed to be a little bit of a disconnect. I don't about whether he was just kind of saying that he was going to end it earlier, or whether he was going to end it earlier because of fan translations. What
was the source? Do you know? Was it just like Twitter? Was it an interview?
I believe it was tweets on Twitter.
Okay, so it's tough to read into it. Like, you don't know if he's got a little bit of sarcasm going or if it's like serious.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Because on Twitter, it's kind of on the fly when you post things. So maybe he got upset, wrote it, and...
Well, yeah. And you know what? I mean... well, I guess I don't want to turn this into a big to-do. I just want to acknowledge that it happened because it was a bit of a to-do at the time. And, I understand what he's saying. And honestly, I don't know. There were some pretty vile reactions to it that, yeah. I mean,
well, I can understand that he's upset about this. But what I don't buy is that he just now noticed that there's fan translations of his work, and that it upsets him so much that he wants to stop writing.
Well,
if that's
again,
just some sudden idea that he had, then it's probably more like a pretext because he lost his inspiration or doesn't want to continue writing.
Well, I don't know the full story of it. Again, the reporting that we get, and like, as you said, it's Twitter, right? Like you can type things into Twitter and nobody really knows what bothered you at that point to, you know what I mean? Like
we have had examples of people writing, of Japanese artists writing stuff on Twitter that they regretted afterwards.
Yeah. We've had people get fired over it,
Yeah, that one guy
anime get
cancelled
over it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's again, I don't know what really, I don't know what caused it. I don't know. Again, like you said, it seems odd that he wouldn't have been aware that there were people translating his works into English, unless he wasn't aware that they were still doing it even now that it's been licensed. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, but you know what? The thing that bothered me was that then it spiraled into this whole, like, people actually giving him, English people giving him crap for saying that, and like people trying to tell him that, the only reason that Overlord is popular is because we fan translated it and stuff like that. And, you know what, man, I don't care what your feeling on it is. I don't care what your, feeling on fan translations are, but you don't go crapping on an author. You know what I mean? Like, if you disagree with his opinion, feel free to disagree, but you know what? He wrote it. He owns it. If he wants to be pissed off that people are stealing it or doing fan translations or whatever, he can. That's his right, and if you disagree with him, then quietly disagree with him. Anyway, that's just my sort of feeling on it. But so, like the news, that's it. So, no 40-minute long news tonight. Just a heads up, our next episode will pretty much be all news because Anime Expo is going to be happening this coming weekend. I'm really hoping to have this episode up on Friday before, like, as Axe begins. So it'll still be true when I say it's coming out this upcoming weekend. And so we will be recording a couple days after Anime Expo and going over all of the licenses that come out of it. I think how many we got, like over 20, I think, last year when all was said and done between J-Novel, Yen, and all the rest of them. So so there will probably be plenty to talk about. So that'll be our next episode as a little tip of the hat. So tonight, for something completely different, we're going to play a little game. Now, Jean-Luc, tell me, because Jean-Luc came up with this, did you invent this, or was this sort of like something that you borrowed or modified?
No, it's it came from a talk between me, Flies, and Bio. Like they suggested we kind of speculate on what would we do if we went to an isekai world, and with who would we party to adventure, and that just came along afterward.
Okay. All right. So here's how this works. So we'll tell all of our listeners how this works, and hopefully they can keep up. Hopefully we can keep up. So we all are starting basically. So you start off the game. You have 50 gold coins or light novel coins or whatever you want to call them. We have 50 coins.
Yeah, we have our own cryptocurrency now.
That's right. It's the light novel coin. Watch for it soon. Invest a lot. So basically what we're doing is we're using this bot dice roller. And so we have these light novel coins. We all start off with 50. Then we have created a list of, let me see, 25 goals. So we will have a goal for what we're going to do in this world that we have been drawn into. Now, obviously, when you get sent to another world, you always end up with some kind of power. So we have 16 different abilities that we have all rolled for. And then we have a list of 48 different characters from light novels that both are licensed and not licensed. But a lot of them, even if they're not licensed, do have an anime. So there's still, like, people should be familiar with most of the characters.
Or a movie or a manga.
Something,
or
right?
a web novel.
Exactly. And so we're each then rolling for 3 characters to be with us. Now, what happens is when we have to discuss our goal and stuff, we have to see, we can use our coins, our 50 coins, to try and barter with somebody else to get their person, to get a team member they have onto our team, because we think it will work better with our goal. At the end, we have to make our case about whether these 3 people can actually help us achieve said goal. And then if everybody says, oh yeah, I buy that, you get 5 points. If people are like, BS, you fail epically, then you don't get 5 points. We're going to do 3 rounds, and whoever has the most points at the end of it all wins the game. Any coins that you have left over will be converted into points as well. So there's kind of the, not only are you trying to win, but you're not trying to blow all your cash at the same time. So so we're going to see how this goes. Like I said, it's the first time that we're trying anything like this. It's about as different as we could possibly get. But it gives us a chance to kind of, we've often said we should just record ourselves shooting the breeze about light novels. So this is kind of the same idea. So, first off, because we had never used this bot before, we all decided to do our rolls for the first round first so we could play around with the bot and everything else. So, my goal in this world that I find myself in is to invent and bring a new sport to life and success in the world. Kyle's goal is to start a cult. Mirage is becoming the greatest warrior that ever lived. Biogundam is going to explore and document the world to find the meaning of life. So deep. Jean-Luc is going to be competing with Mirage to become the greatest warrior that ever lived in the world. And
the French Chevalier versus the German Prussian nobility.
And Terrence is going to ascend to godhood in any way possible. Okay.
Just to let you know, I'm nowhere near Prussia.
Just to make
That's
it clear.
just the German guilt speaking to you. Be proud of your Prussian heritage.
Oh my. Okay. And then in terms of powers, so I can control shadows. Kyle can, it says recording magic. So, Jean-Luc, what do you mean recording magic? Like, does that mean like he can record things using magic?
Let me check. I think it was a bio that submitted this one. Where is it again?
Yeah, it says it's essentially just audio recording. I think you can alter the voice however you want, but it says record and replay any sound or conversation.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's called Craig.
Okay. And it's called Craig. Okay. Mirage can shape change himself or others. Biogundam has a stand representing his worst nightmares that can allow him to stop time. Jean-Luc can turn water into alcohol. And Terrence can create life from nothing. Like, Terrence, I think you've already accomplished your goal. I don't really...
That's a cheat skill.
That's so cheat skill. I don't really think you need, like, a team anymore. Jesus. Okay, so, okay. I don't know. How do you want to talk about, like, each of these characters? Like, do you want us to go through who each person has, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, it might be useful, like, on the YouTube link that you, like, put a picture of who these characters look like, so...
Yeah, maybe.
So people have an idea.
Yeah, so for my team, I have Ken Sugisaki, who is the male protagonist of Seitokai no Ichizon. Then I have Roroa Amidonia from the How a Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. And then I have William G. Maryblood from the Faraway Paladin. Then let's see who else has stuff. Here we have Kyle has, no, I don't know everybody from the top of my head, has Kurumi Tokisaki. Who's that?
She's from Data Life. She's the one who can alter time and then split herself into multiple people.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Then he's got Goblin Slayer. And then he has Euclid, who is a necromancer. What was the English title of that?
So this is a zombie, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. That series was crazy, but it was pretty funny.
It was fucking awesome. Like the 20, like the 11th episode, the dude's like fighting a fucking whale, just a whale out of nowhere. It's in the sky, and he cuts it in half with a chainsaw.
There's just something about a magical girl who's a guy who's a zombie wielding a chainsaw. Anyway, okay.
I hope they license the novel because it's fucking lit. Like in the second season, he like starts transforming in front of all the public, and as he powers up, he looks more girly and fantastic. And the magical girl's like, "Don't, you're looking too fabulous."
Oh no!
And he keeps on powering up, and his like dress becomes more frilly. It's just fucking bullshit.
Then Mirage has Reinhard von Lohengrim from the Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes!
Then he has D from Vampire Hunter D. And then he has Hajime Nagumo from Ari Ferretta. You know, that's a pretty, like, OP team you've got there, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, wow. Bio has Yang Wen Li from Legend of Galactic
Legend of the Galactic Heroes!
Basara Tojo from The Testament of Sister New Devil. And then Holo from Spice and Wolf. Then we have Jean-Luc has Issei Hyodo. Oh my God, I'm totally blanking. Issei, that's from High School DxD, right? Okay, yeah, right. Opie guy, yeah, okay.
Boost!
Then he has Yuji Sakamoto. I'm not familiar with who Yuji Sakamoto is.
It's from Bakato Test.
Oh, was that the? I don't know anything about that character.
It's like the. I just looked it up. It's the class representative.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got that chick who wants his dick who keeps on tasing him and stuff.
So is that his major power? Is the girl who wants him shows up and tases people for him?
Well, it seems
Summon
like
Yandere!
it seems like he's a tactician.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. And then and then he has Katerina from My Next Life as a Villainess. I'm not too sure what you're going to do with that, buddy.
I'm not too sure as well.
Good luck. And then Terrence has Naofumi from The Rising of the Shield Hero. Haruhiro from Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. And Sen Yarizui, and that was from...
Bento, right?
Yeah, that's right. She's like a brawler, like a heavy-duty martial artist.
I don't know too much about her, so I might need a little help. But I did look up some videos of her brawling, so she's pretty badass.
All right, cool. All right, so now we didn't really discuss how we were going to do this, but okay.
We can start with you.
All right, so I need to invent and bring a new sport to life and world success for that sport. I can control shadows, which is basically useless for that.
But I think Roroa should be quite good for that.
If you played like a baseball game, you could
I could
move
cheat.
the shadows so that It's
Yeah,
either
like,
easier for you or tougher for somebody out in the outfield.
But here's the thing,
Yeah,
though.
also, Justice, if you ever played Vampire the Masquerade, like, there's a discipline called Alternabration, and it allows you to control shadows. And at higher levels, you can become some, like, fucking shadow monstrosity out of, like, Cult of Cthulhu, merge your shadows, teleport in shadows, and come out other places
Yeah, but
shadows.
none of
You can
that
spawn
helps you make a sport popular.
That's my point. It's a great power. It's a cool power, but only I can do it. So I can't exactly make a sport that becomes popular worldwide if
Just
I'm the only
scare
one who
people
can
into
do it.
playing it. It'd be great.
Maybe. So I think Roroa is quite practical for that because she has the planning
Yes.
capacities, and maybe Terrence is willing to part with Senjari Izui.
I am willing to part with the character I don't know.
Well, but here's my thinking to this. Okay, so Ken Sugisaki, when you look him up, basically the guy is pretty charismatic. He's a hard worker. He does like most of the student council's work for them. So the way I kind of look at it is I've got Rorua, who is a planner, a marketer, money driven, right? So she's like my economist who can put this together and like kind of keep us on track financially and come up with ways that we can make additional income, merchandise, that kind of stuff. Then I've got Ken, who not only can do some of the backroom work, but can also be a really good face for the whole thing because he can be like the announcer guy, right? Or like our
The problem is
guy.
Ken is only diligent when he wants to get into someone's pants.
Well, Roro was kind of cute. and let's be honest. If this thing is going to be worldwide and he is like the face of the sport, man, like if he is like intrinsically like important to the sport, he will not lack for girls. So I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be motivated. And then I've got Will G. Maryblood from Paladin. And Will is like, okay, so first of all, Will is a super upstanding, kind of decent moral dude. He's strong. He's
So
super
the opposite
athletic.
of Ken.
Well, okay, yeah, fair enough. But I'm thinking like this guy, I create a sport that this guy can be like the actual like star of the sport. Because every sport needs like a personality who's like the star. You know what I mean? Like every sport needs, yeah.
He's
like,
got a name. He's got a name for sports.
Dude, Will J. Maryblood. I know, right? Seriously. Like this guy is like the next like Michael Jordan or like, come on, man. Like we can market the crap out of this dude. So like I'm kind of thinking my team is pretty good. Like I've got a guy that can help me athletically create the sport and can then be part of the sport and, could be a really good face for the sport because I know that he's an upstanding dude, so I don't have to worry that, the tabloids will find out that he got in a drunk rage and beat up his girlfriend or, wiped out a bunch of families in his car drunk or something stupid. So I don't have to worry about that. I've got Ken who can be like my announcer guy and my charisma guy and do the paperwork, and I'll just, have to keep reminding him, remember, Ken, the girls will come. And then I've got Rorua, who's going to basically be like my real go-to girl for all of my marketing and helping me make sure that this thing is a financial success. So like I kind of think like what I got to work with, like my power is crap, but unless I use my power to sabotage other sports so that my sport looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, so my team, I think, is good. My power, I think it's no good for what I'm trying to accomplish unless I use it in an underhanded way to undermine other sports. So I could spread like, I mean, if I can move through shadows and stuff, like I could like learn all the dirt on other sports and stuff and start leaking that kind of stuff out. And you know what I mean? Or like learn all of their business secrets so I can like invest in the right stuff or, work my model. So yeah, I mean, I could use the shadows in a very sort of industrial espionage kind of way. So actually, yeah, now that I think about it, that pretty much all works out. Like I'm pretty pleased. I'm thinking I'm okay.
Well, would you want to trade with anybody for this party? Or would anyone want to trade for you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel that I want to trade anybody. I mean, the only other thing that I could think of is if, I don't know. I was going to say, like, Yang Wing Lee from Legend of Galactic Heroes might not be bad. I mean, he's got a really good tactical mind, and the guy's kind of laid back. He's not an uptight a-hole. So, like, in terms of coming up with stuff, I think he and Roroa would probably be a pretty potent mix that way. But I don't know. Like, I'm not convinced. I'm kind of worried that too many planners might make things a little too messy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that would be my concern. Kitty. So yeah, like, I think knowing what knowing what I know about Ken, I'm pretty sure that I can manipulate him to do what I need him to do. Whereas I don't know about Yang Wing Lee. Reinhardt ain't going to do nothing for me unless he wants to, and there's no manipulating that dude. He'll try to manipulate me. Before I'll know it, I won't own the franchise anymore.
Yeah, as long as the franchise is successful, that's not a problem.
I think it'll be all right. So yeah, I don't really think that I need to trade for anybody because, like I said too, like sports. I mean, I can use my ability to maybe do espionage, but I mean, I want this. The only way to make a sport really popular worldwide is to make it so that anybody can do it. You know what I mean? Like, the more accessible a sport is, the more popular a sport is, right? Like, I mean, you take a look at like baseball, soccer, basketball. I mean, all you really need is like space and a ball. You know, like, that's, I think, why those things are so popular. Like, even though hockey is really popular in Canada, obviously, there's a huge barrier financially to get into hockey. Between the equipment, the ice costs, and everything else, there's a huge barrier, which I think is why, I mean, you know, you see basketball's popularity. Like, yeah, literally, if I've got an open piece of pavement, I can play basketball. Like, I think that's, so yeah, you want it to be a sport that anyone can do. So it can't have like superpowers or magic involved in it. So I don't need anybody who's super magical to do it. And like I said, Will, I mean, he's got magic, but he's also got all sorts of just great training and stamina and everything else. So
yeah, he's kind of like very like Will Merryblood is very well rounded. Like, he isn't great. Like, he's decent at magic. He's decent at physical stuff, but he isn't like exactly like a master at any of those things. He's kind of like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't he use like...
He is a master of everything.
It's been a bit... I gotta reread, but doesn't he use like ice and then like netting and stuff? Like, he's got a lot of abilities that he manipulates people into getting caught up. So he would probably be good for like a sports team, even if he could use a little bit of his magic.
Well, like I said, even if he doesn't, I still think that...
Yeah, if you also remember, the magic from his world is very temperamental as well. Like, if he you know, because how the magic works in this particular round. Yeah. Like, if he uses it like sparingly, it could have lots of negative consequences.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that he doesn't use magic that much. Like, he knows magic, but he isn't like a master at it.
Well, no, and again, like, it's and as I said, I mean, in terms of the sport, you don't. You know, if you're really looking to make it a big success worldwide, it has to be accessible. And if you make it so that you can only play if you have magic, that's not going to catch on. Like, I mean, it'll be popular. Like, I'm sure people would watch it, but to really make it a big roaring success, you need other people to play it, you know? So yeah, but like I said, though, physically, I think Will's really good. 'Cause like Gundam's saying, like, he's strong, he's powerful, he's agile, he's smart, but he's not like OP. So he's still kind of like a good face for the business because it's not like he's unreachable. You know what I mean? Like,
he's not OP. It's like a dragon is still a challenge for him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. He is not ridiculously OP, so it's not
also,
like...
he needed help to fight that dragon, by the way. He didn't do it solo, by the way.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, everything is still a challenge for him. It's not... He's not, you know, again...
And he also needs help as well, so that also, you know...
Yeah.
If he didn't need help, then he would be OP.
Well, and we also see, like, again, we're going to do, funny enough, we're going to do Faraway Paladin in our next, in like a future recording. But so I don't want to talk too much about it, but we do definitely see that, particularly when we get into the second volume of that series, that Will is a really good team player too. So, and like has some smarts about how he can best use people's abilities and strengths and stuff like that, and he's willing to learn from other people and things. So yeah, like I said, I think I'm good. Like I don't really think I need to trade anybody out.
Okay,
given
so
what
how
my
are we
goal
going
is.
to do this? Are we going to vote on Justice now, or are we
Yeah.
going...
So yeah, go ahead.
Well, at the end, because if someone wants to trade with you and is able to
Convince me.
negotiate enough,
Okay, then
Okay.
let's continue with Kyle.
All right, Kyle.
All right, so for mine, I got to start a cult, and I'm going to be with Kurumi Tokisaki, Goblin Slayer, and Ulysses Wood. All right, so for the cult, you really need a central figure. And Kurumi is one who really doesn't like the spotlight. Goblin Slayer, he just wants to kill goblins. He cares about literally nothing else. And so if we were going to do this, we would have to center it around Ulysses Wood. Now, she's a necromancer who can obviously bring people back to life, but she's so powerful that if she utters a single word, everyone essentially dies. So, yeah. So how would you center a religious movement around someone who can't speak or anything? Well, that's where the recording magic comes in. So she can do speeches, events, whatever, record her voice when she's alone ahead of time, and then have it replay, in front of a crowd.
So now, can I just interject here? So me hearing her voice from another device would be okay. It's only if she's like actually like speaks to me personally that I could die. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah,
all she would have to do is say die and you'd be dead.
Yeah.
To you.
It's I'm pretty certain that her power works. You have to be in the vicinity because because she can emote in other ways, like how she usually communicates is with this whiteboard that she writes on.
Yeah.
And so she can write on the whiteboard, go die pervert, and you just got hurt feelings. You aren't gonna explode, just because she doesn't like you. And so it's majorly it's all contained in her voice. And like I said, I'm very certain that you have to be in the vicinity. She can't just say, kill Hitler and then Hitler dies from 20,000 miles away or whatnot.
All right. Okay. All right.
Okay, so it would center around Ulysses Wood, but then you have to get these other two on board. Now, Kurumi Tokisaki is she's essentially the femme fatale of the Data Live series.
Okay.
And she's not exactly like, I guess, traditional. Well, I don't know how you'd put it, but she's not like an anime trope. That's why she's generally the most popular character, because if you slide her, if she doesn't like what you're doing, she will straight up murder you, and MC does not have the plot armor to protect them from her. So she literally could just go around and do whatever. So she's very evil aligned. Now, I would think she'd totally be on board for starting a cult. to manipulate people to just complete whatever objective. Like I said before, she isn't one who likes to stand in the spotlight, but she would totally push the role of leader onto Ulysses would. And so I think she would be really heavy in just kind of managing everything along the side. And so say like Ulysses Wood was in a gathering where she has this pre-recorded message where she's essentially proselytizing. I have a feeling that Kurumi would step in and kind of like adjust whatever recording Ulysses Wood made to fit her own ends. And then plus, since Ulysses Wood can't speak, in public or generally at all, she wouldn't have a way to just counter anything Kurumi's doing. So she'd just kind of be stuck there. And I kind of get the feeling that if people caught on that it's like Kurumi's just altering Ulysses Wood's words, and Ulysses Wood is kind of flustered, trying to, hand sign or write on a chalkboard or anything, I think that would drive even more people to start just downright worshiping her for her moe-ness. Now, the third party member we got is Goblin Slayer. And, well, he's a very tactical person, but he only cares about slaying goblins. Hence his name. I don't think he would really be on board with starting a cult unless one of its charters was to kill every goblin they find.
Yeah. But you don't have to use him. If you think you can do without him, you can trade him away.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have a use for Goblin Slayer. I mean, if you say, hey, this cult is going to, kill goblins, then he would be on board immediately. And then he'd start just running all the logistics, the organization, all the paperwork and stuff behind the scenes.
Goblin Slayer paperwork?
Yeah.
No.
Well, but hold on. But I mean, what if you said to him, this would be dirty, but I mean, you've got a necromancer. Like, what if you said, not only will we kill goblins, but we could bring your sister back? I mean, that's dirty. Like, that's
very dirty, and it wouldn't work.
Not with Goblin Slayer.
Oh, why does the dead person have to be fresh?
But if Goblin Slayer is on board, so is Guild Girl, and she will do the paperwork.
Send him to Terrence. He'll be able to do something about that.
I mean, I'm free to giving up Goblin Slayer, but I feel that Kurumi and Ulysses Wood could take care of this completely on their own.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Do you have more that you want to add, or you're kind of good with that for now?
Yeah, I'm good with that for now. So just know that, Goblin Slayer's on the table if anyone really wants him.
All right. Mirage.
Yeah, so I have to become the greatest warrior that ever lived, and I have the power to shape change myself and others. So depending on one factor, this will be either possible or extremely easy. And that factor is, do you gain XP in this world and level up from enemies that you kill?
Don't know. Let's say yes. Let's say yes, because almost every single
because
isekai,
my plans ride on this.
Okay. In this case, it's extremely easy because I have Reinhard von Lohengram and Hajime Nagumo. I don't need D. He's if anyone wants him, he's up for grabs. Reinhard von Lohengram has one ridiculously powerful ability, and he has several, but the one that is most ridiculous of all is that he can lure enemies in for the slaughter. He can make entire enemy fleets overextend themselves and fly into his reach and have themselves be destroyed. And then I have Hajime, who can destroy them, and thus earning me massive XP to level up and become the greatest warrior that ever lived.
Now, the only thing that I can see being a bit of a catch with you is how do you go beyond Hajime?
Yeah, that might be a problem.
That's where D comes in. You use D to take Hajime out.
I'm not sure that D would stand a chance.
I know. But if anybody could do it in this list of characters that we have, like, you know, D might have an okay shot at it. I doubt it. But
if anything, then my own power might be able to take him out because I could change him into a mouse.
that's true. You can change the shape of others. And that is one power that, as far as I know, Hajime does not yet have.
Yeah.
So okay, there you go. So all right, yeah, you could seriously downgrade him and then crush him. Yeah, all right. In fact, there you go. You don't need any of them. You can just change everybody in the world to something weaker than you.
Yeah,
and you don't even have to kill anybody.
That's why I said without experience points and levels, it would be possible. But with experience points and levels, it's downright easy because you have one person to gather the enemies and one person to eradicate them, and I don't have to do much myself.
No, you're right. But like I said, even just by yourself with that power, you kind of do it. You just have to find anybody stronger than you, and be like, I'm going to change you into a mouse. Done.
Yeah.
I'm the strongest warrior in the world.
But it would be tedious to find everyone other than me who is stronger than me, instead of just becoming stronger myself, because it would probably have to get rid of quite a lot of people.
True. The one way that you could utilize D then is it depends on the leveling structure, right? Like, if you have something like, say, what we saw in Shield Hero, where, okay, yeah, I'm going to bring up the controversial slave crest thing, but whatever. It's a mechanic. It's in light novels. It works. In that particular situation, the quote unquote master got more XP shared to him than what the other ones did, right? So basically what I'm saying is that if you were able to somehow do it, that, you were basically getting the cumulative results of all three, and they were each getting their own level up, but then you were getting each of their level ups.
To be honest, it's been quite a long time that I've seen Vampire Hunter D, and all I remember is that he's a very powerful vampire.
Well, that's it. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. If you've got Reinhard kind of planning what's going to happen, and then you've got two big muscle on your side, I mean...
if the other one wasn't Hajime, then I might have used him, but as it is, Hajime doesn't need anyone to help him mob up large amounts of enemies.
Fair enough. Until he runs out of ammunition, but yeah.
And then he creates more.
It's funny how broken some of these characters are. Okay.
I rest my case.
I was going to say, I don't think you really need to say more. I think you're pretty much there. Bio.
Okay, so my goal is to explore and document the world to find the meaning of life. And my power is a stand representing my worst nightmares that let me stop time. Well, I know one way how I can use that stand. I can just use the stand to freeze the aging process so I can live forever.
Now, do you think it selectively allows you, do you think it would do that? Or would it just stop time in the world in general?
It just says it lets me stop time.
That's true. It doesn't limit you on that. So you could infer...
So I could literally just freeze my own time.
Right. Yeah,
but it would be boring.
Okay. I see where you're going.
I would become immortal as long as that stand is active.
When you stop time, normally nothing moves except you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're saying, though, right?
If I stop time on my own aging process, then I can practically just live forever. I don't age. I don't change.
So I get what you're saying, but I guess the argument is that, like, again, right? Like, if this were this is almost like we're designing a game. Because we're like, okay, this magical item, it's broken as shit because it doesn't tell us.
Well, it depends. Like, if I have a stand, as long as that stand is active, I can just slow down or stop my aging process for as long as I want, essentially.
Yeah, well, that's
the thing of stands is that...
You figure if you can stop time, you could probably control it. Like, I can stop time in this specific space. Like, it doesn't have to stop time across the whole universe.
Yeah, well, that's the argument, right? Is just that's the whole point. Is like, does this thing allow that kind of precision of control? If it does, then yes, you're absolutely right. You could stop your aging process. If it's more of a blunt force instrument, then that wouldn't work. But it doesn't say.
But usually, time stop and other spells like that just do stopping time, not stopping your aging process.
But I'm pretty.
Yeah, but aging process is part of time.
Yeah, like it's a very slippery slope.
So that's the other argument. If you stop time, you can move like within the stop time, and so you would physically age, and everybody else wouldn't. That's one of the arguments. Like in that space, you would be able to move around and you would age, but everyone around you wouldn't. So then you would actually get older quicker.
But I don't think you do. But I mean, again. But again, like, I think this is the problem, right? Because when you're talking about stopping time, we've got a huge range of things that we can talk about, right? Like, if you technically stop time, even if you can still move around, there's some, there are some stories out there where you do not age because even though you can move, time itself, the act of time progressing forward isn't happening, so technically your cells aren't aging. Or,
but
like,
moving on from that, how does that help you with your goal?
Well, the older I become, the more knowledge I can see and the more things I can explore. Like, I don't have a fucking time limit because it doesn't exist.
So you're brute forcing the goal.
If he could freeze time and it doesn't age him, and he can stay in one space for as long as he wants and interact with whatever he wants in that space, he could literally read every book in the world. Like, there'd be nothing stopping him from whatever knowledge he wants to acquire.
Like, even
but does this time? But can I freeze my party mates' time as well? Like, can they be with me so they can move around?
I don't
Well,
know.
normally it's a stand, so it should only affect you.
But what happens if my stand is touching them as well? Or I've got physical contact with them when I activate my power. Like, will they also be in the time stop? Like,
I don't know.
How does stands work in JoJo?
How stands work is JoJo is you summon them and they do shit. And basically,
could they freeze time for two people? Has that ever happened with the stand?
I know that the world freezed time, and
multiple
JoJo
people moved. Did multiple people?
Yeah, I know that
around?
JoJo could move because he had the same power. He had time stop as well. So he was like freezing time, just as like the world was also freezing time. So he can move in time stop.
Yeah, so you got it. Unless they have a power that stops time,
then they'll be stopped. So, regardless...
I haven't seen JoJo, so I'm not quite sure how JoJo figures in this all of this, because your characters aren't from JoJo?
Well, JoJo's have stands. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, these guys can't see my stand. They can't see it.
So
I think we're talking about different kinds of... What's a stand?
A stand is a spirit. It's basically like a manifestation of your fighting spirit.
Okay.
And my one is a representation of my worst nightmare, which I will see always when I summon the damn thing, and it just stops time, apparently. But we don't know what the precision is. Can I stop time in areas? Like, Like the main protagonist from Deus Irae, he can stop time at different levels. He can speed up his own time. He can freeze all of existence in the universe because of his law, which is I want this to last forever. Like, how does my time travel powers work?
Okay, that
Well,
sounds a
let's just
bit
say
like
you only
you'd
stop
go
time for
insane before
yourself.
you found the meaning of life.
He's traveling with the
Yeah, but
wise.
if I
He's traveling with the wise wolf. He's found the meaning of life already.
But as long as he stops aging, he'll always see his worst nightmare
Then
for all eternity.
But and then
So,
but then
anyway,
is it-
powers aside, how are you going to use your teammate for your goal?
Yeah, listen, I think the powers are fucking, like, we can go in circles of that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so with Yang, he's actually a historian. He's also quite a brilliant tactical mind. We could have tons and tons of debates. And he's also, a scholar as well. He could help with research and stuff, and we can go, like, back and forth. And he's also relatively relaxed and chill, so I think he'd be okay with spending a couple of millennia reading books and learning about the world.
okay.
We have Basra Tojo. Not really much of an academic, but I think he would be willing to tag along just for the adventure. And I think he'd be useful as, like, muscle in case we need to go into, like, labyrinths or some dangerous places. Like, he'd be good muscle or bodyguard to protect us, because I'm assuming I can't use that stand all the time.
Probably not. So let's say no. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah, he'd be like a good bodyguard and a physical fighter, and he also has tons of money, and he's just relatively chill. Like, he's not relatively evil, and if people fuck with us, he's going to lay down the smackdown. So I think we're relatively safe. And then we have Hollow. She's very wise. She can also transform to a wolf and stuff, and I think she'd just be useful for traveling around. Like, her keen sense of smell and hearing and sight could help us find supplies, or she could give us rides. And she's also incredibly wise. So, just lots of helpful stuff. Like, her and Yang and me can just debate about philosophy for centuries on end.
All right. The meaning of life. Okay.
And she's also like immortal, so she's not going to be, like, affected.
True enough.
And I think Basra, he can live. He'll live a lot longer than an average human as well. It's just Yang that's going to be a problem. Like, if I can freeze his time and mine, I think we'll be fine.
Well, I think too, like, I know we're going to maybe discuss this a little bit more, but I think too, the advantage of having somebody like Holo, who is already immortal, with you is certainly going to help, because I would think that someone who has watched how many millennia of people aging, dying, living their lives, I imagine she would have quite the insight into the whole, where to search for the meaning of life.
Yeah, and also the fact is that I'll be like her eternal friend because I will never die. Because stand powers.
Just make sure you get it.
Like, as long as my stand... Yeah, as long as my stand never gives out, like, I am basically immortal. So...
All right.
And Basra can hang around, and then Basra can hang around for a long time as well, because he's like part demon, part something, so he can live a long time as well, and I can always just like freeze his time as well. So basically, we're like this immortal party of fuckers doing whatever the fuck we want, because fuck it.
Because why not?
We've got to find the meaning of life.
All right, Jean-Luc.
Okay, I'm in deep shit poo-poo. Oh, God. Okay, so I need to also become the greatest warrior that ever lived while turning water into alcohol. Well, that's doable, but okay, so yeah, Issei Yodo. Yeah, he's a teenage demon obsessed with Oppai. Yeah, he's pretty strong, but then again, I need to be stronger, so yeah, I might have to throw him off somewhere. Then Yuji Sakamoto seems like he's a tactician, so I want to have this guy stick around. And well, Katarina, I don't know the character at all, but I don't think she'll be a lot useful.
Not for becoming the greatest warrior in the world, I don't
Nah.
think. No.
So I think that Terrence, I'll I want to exchange Katarina for Naofumi.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that because I might need him to become a god. Unfortunately,
You're already a god.
How about D? I'm always up for giving up D, and your advantage would be you wouldn't have to off him in the end because he's not alive, so he doesn't count towards your goal.
Yeah, but I don't remember D a lot.
Yeah, he's a vampire.
Well, half vampire, if I recall.
Yeah,
But whatever.
still dead.
Yeah, I've got the light novels for Vampire Hunter
Okay,
D. Like,
so,
he can do all sorts of shit.
Okay, so plan B. Terrence, I want to exchange Katarina for Sen Yalizui.
I will think about it. We're gonna go to negotiations later, right? So I will think about it. I'm trying. Can you tell me what Katarina would do for me?
Well, maybe we should have like Terrence say his stuff first, and then we'll start negotiating here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
All right. So is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right. So my goal is to ascend to godhood in any way possible, and I can create life from nothing. So we kind of already talked about that's a pretty OP skill to try to say, hey, I'm basically God already.
Right.
Now the question is, it says ascend to godhood in any way possible. So does that mean that I just have to make other people think I'm a god? Or does that mean I have to actually power up and level up to become godly? Like, I guess that is one of my questions with that goal. And
I think you would have to find a way to become a god.
Well, I think
yeah.
I think you already got half the equation because creating life from nothing is OP as hell. But what about yourself? That doesn't grant you. You could create life, but that doesn't grant you immortality. So you would need a way to either become immortal or transfer yourself from the life that you created.
So I'm looking.
Well, essentially to yourself.
Yeah.
So a kind of like reincarnation type cycle.
And I don't know how I'm going to accomplish that.
Maybe let some vampire turn you into a vampire?
Ooh, that could work.
Oh, there you go.
I would not mind trading Sen Yarizui for D. But just going back onto my team and just looking at my party, that's kind of where I'm struggling a little bit. Now, one thing I was thinking about, and this is going to be a little underhanded and definitely controversial, but I can make life from nothing. And I've got a character who doesn't have any companions when he starts his journey. In fact, doesn't trust most people. And he has a way to, I guess, someone was saying like he has a way to basically make a slave crest. So if Nafumi kind of wants to do, he wants to level up and he wants a party, like a bigger party, I could make companions for him. I can create anything from nothing. I could make companions for him. So again, if he doesn't trust my party mates, he may not trust Sen. I mean, he kind of had a rough go with the first female party mate that he had on his side. So that might be difficult for him. Haruhiro is more of a tactician. So again, I'm not really sure. Obviously, if we have to get into battles to prove how tough we are, Haruhiro is going to be able to help us, tactically figure out what to do. He also has a one-hit KO kind of move but it's very unreliable. It only pops up occasionally. That's kind of weird. Now Fumi comes in, he's got the defense. He'll be able to protect our hero for as long as possible, protect our party for as long as possible. And again, I can create life from nothing. So if I want to create, wolves or dogs or like beasts for Naofumi to basically absorb, I can do that. I'm going to need a fighter. And again, I have Senya Izui right now. So as of now, she's going to have to beat down and actually like obliterate at least weak monsters to level up. And so that's kind of where my party is at right now. Again, I would not mind parting with Sen, although I don't know anything about D. So we'll see how negotiations go. But that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. Okay, so now I guess we will start. So I'm going to stay with what I got. I mean, if somebody wants to negotiate with me, feel free, but I don't feel the need to go chasing after anybody else's people, I don't think. Kyle, how about you?
I'm good with Kurumi and Ulyssawood. If somebody wanted to trade for Goblin Slayer, that's fine with me, but I don't see anyone on the list that I would be dying to have.
Mirage?
Yeah, as I said, I'm up for giving away D. I'm not interested in any of the other characters, so you'd have to pay with coins.
Bio?
I'm a mortal and I have a wife, a wolf waifu, so I'm good.
Okay. Jean-Luc?
Okay,
I think you're behind the 8 ball there, bud. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The desperate trade number 3. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with I'll try to trade Issei Yodo for Terrence Senya Yarizui.
Now, I guess my question would be, what would Issei do for my goal? And
Well,
I don't really know this character that well, so you're going to have to...
That's why I wanted to trade him, because he can actually do stuff for you. Well, since he became a demon, he has knowledge about demon and god. And if I remember correctly, is he able to turn people into demons?
No, but he can actually transfer his power to you. Like, all he has to do is, like, power up, and then he transfers that energy to you, so you're actually, like, powered up as well. He can't turn people into demons, but in his, like, adult life, he can turn into a dragon. And by the way, in his dragon form, he's, like, eating, like, demons whole.
So
and people call him a monster because he's so terrifying.
He has contacts among the gods.
Yes.
So I guess my question is, which of these characters, obviously he would help me to have knowledge. Like, right now, I don't know if I could even reach gods or demons with my team. So that would be helpful. Maybe we can get this, godlyhood done in our lifetime. Maybe we can be granted godlyhood by defeating a god with my party, or like taking out a lesser god. So that could be helpful. I might do that trade, as I think that would be helpful. So, do we want to initiate a trade of Senya Izui for Issei Hyodo?
Yeah, well, I'm in for the trade.
All right. So I would trade Senya Izui for Issei Hyodo.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And you're good with just a straight trade?
Yeah, I'll just do straight trade so I can keep my coins. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I was going to say he should pay you because but anyway. All right. Anybody else wanting to go after people here?
I'm good.
Are we good? Really? Okay. You're good with Katarina? Okay.
Yeah, I'll explain my plan.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what then. Like, we've kind of all explained our plans. So now, Jean-Luc, explain your plan, because you've done a change. So what do you think you're going to do now?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is find a coliseum somewhere, and I'm gonna start like this big worldy competition, for the greatest warrior that ever lived. And I'm gonna have Senya Lezuit train me in close combat. And after that, I'm gonna use Yuji Sakamoto to basically manage pretty much everything. Well, I can always manage stuff as well, but I'll have to focus on training up. And I'll use Katarina to take drinks to my adversaries. So that way, and I can always distribute some in the viewers balcony, so that people enjoy and don't see that my opponent is super drunk, and I can just kick ass.
And then, so in other words, instead of becoming the greatest warrior that ever lived, you're saying that instead of literally being the greatest warrior that ever lived, you're just going to get the title of the greatest warrior
You're going
that
to
ever
be
lived.
Satan.
Well, I mean, fair enough. Like, it doesn't say that you actually have to be physically, strength-wise, or whatever the greatest warrior. It just says you have to earn the title, right?
Well, if Mirage can turn people into mice and become the strongest.
Fair enough. Okay, all right.
Only after getting the XP to actually become strong. Also, I can't only turn people into mice. I can also turn myself into Minotaur or something like that.
True.
Like, being able to change yourself into anything basically would almost make you the strongest warrior ever anyway.
Yeah, I think there was a size limitation somewhere.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
David and Goliath.
Well, okay. Fair enough. All right. So, anybody else want to make a case or want to do any trades? No?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so let's go down the list. So, I guess we have to decide. So, for me, do you guys think that I made a good case? Am I going to be able to make a very successful sport?
Yes.
Yes.
Are there any nays?
You've got a good manager, so...
All right, so I get 5 points. All right. Okay, now for Kyle, what do we think? Is he going to be able to start a cult with a girl who can, I don't know, control time and everything else, and then a girl who can basically create life and death? Sounds like a good mix.
I know neither Date Live nor Koreva Zombie desu ka, so I'm gonna vote with the majority here.
I think yes.
I'll go yes.
Yeah.
If he goes for a cult that everyone stays silent...
Well, here's the thing though. Like, I think honestly, like, Usiliwood is pretty good. Like, even just having her stay quiet, I think would create appeal about her. I think that mystique and stuff. I think he's got a pretty good mix. The Goblin Slayer just is useless, but the other two, certainly he's got the power.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer's just like around or something.
Yeah, go kill something, Goblin Slayer, whatever. But yes, I think he has what he needs to make a cult. What do you guys think?
I'll give him a yes.
Yeah, I'm saying yes.
Yes.
Okay, so 5 it is.
Woohoo.
All right, Mirage, I'll say yes right away because I don't think if it even matters who the hell he's got on his team. But let's face it, I mean, he's got like one of the best tacticians that we've picked and one of the most OP characters. So really, and that's not even taking into account his own ability to shape change himself for others. So I say yes.
Yeah, he's going to turn everybody into mice, so... Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of broken.
Yes, so yes.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't think of finding the greatest warrior ever, sending Hajime to and D to kill him, and then shape change into that greatest hero.
Well, that's enough. Oh my God, totally. Yes, that could work too. So, well, there you go. Like either way, like he's set. Like really, let's face it.
He's good to go.
Yeah. All right. Bio. Will he be able to explore and find the meaning of life when he can basically stop time and spend an absolute eternity searching for it with, well, I mean, you know, he's got Muscle and Basara, but the other two are, like, let's face it. I mean, Yang Wang Li, like you said, I mean, in terms of like a historian being able to extrapolate from history and everything else, that's a good one to have on your team. And Holo, well, that's self-explanatory. Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
Yeah, with Yang and Holo, I think it's...
Yeah.
He'll eventually find it.
Yeah, I think
Actually, just Holo and Yang would probably be a good case. I'm not sold on the immortality thing, but Holo in itself will probably help a lot in finding the meaning of life.
Well, let's put it this way. Even if it was like something where he could just stop time for a while and it affected everything except anything he interacted with. Like, you know, he could pick up a book and read it, whatever. Even just being able to take the time to study without time passing would give him a major leg up, right? Like you said, like he could spend like 40 years and read an entire library and then start time again. And, you know, if we go by the laws that he hasn't aged because, quote unquote, time has stopped, then like, I mean, it gives him an opportunity to do lots of stuff, right? Hell, even if his team like stop in time, he can throw them in a cart and push them to the next town. They don't have to waste time on travel. Anyway, yeah. So I think he's got a good team that he can do it. Yeah,
I think essentially Holo is the best party member you could have asked for this endeavor, for your goal.
I think so.
She's extremely intelligent, the wise wolf, and she's
also a god.
Essentially,
she's the pagan god of wheat and fertility.
Mm-hmm.
And
the fertility part is important, by the way.
And she's cute. Like, come on. I mean, you know, it's a win-win on every level. She's like...
Also, she can transform into a giant wolf, so if we need backup muscle, we have her.
Right.
Because what's more terrifying than what's more terrifying than a wolf that's like the size of a house?
Well, there you go. So, yeah, I think...
She'll huff, and she'll puff, and she'll bloat.
I think Bio's good. Anyone disagree?
Yeah, I think he's good.
All right. Okay, Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc. I don't know.
So you're going to compete for the title of World's Strongest Warrior, correct?
Here's the thing. If we say that it's just a title that you have to get, I think he can probably manage it by getting his opponents drunk and having like someone who can help train him with his fighting, right? And like have Yuji can be his manager or whatever. I don't know. If we're just going for the title, I think that he could probably figure it out. But if he actually has to be the strongest fighter in the world, I'm
screwed.
I think, So I don't know, man. Like, kind of part of me wants to give him, instead of the full 5 points, I kind of want to give him a 2.5 or something, like,
for creativity.
You know, because like I don't really think you're accomplishing the actual goal by just getting the title, but at the same time, I can't really argue that doesn't satisfy the requirement.
Actually, there's a way to use that ability to defeat enemies. Just turn the water in their blood into alcohol. But that wouldn't make you a great warrior. That would make you a great mage.
Well, yeah, but damn, you're right. I didn't even think about that. That's like blood magic.
Dude, you'd kill people. You'd kill people from alcohol poisoning.
Right.
Yeah, but the goal is to become the greatest warrior that ever lived.
So he changes some of their blood and then he punches them.
Yeah. So here's another idea. So he whatever he has to do to get to the position of number 2 greatest warrior in the world in this tournament arc, have it be. You know, so he makes people drunk before a match or during the match. He knocks them out easily. So he has to prove that he's the number 1 warrior, and just taking out small fry probably isn't enough. So what he could do is put Senor Izui in the competition, try to get them to meet up in the final, and then she has to throw the fight, basically. But they have to put on a show, and then he'll be the undisputed warrior.
She wouldn't
do that?
Fight.
No, I don't think she would throw it. But I see what you're saying.
She has
though.
a sense of honor.
Yeah, she wouldn't throw the fight. But nonetheless, like that whole, you could turn like water in the bloodstream in the body into alcohol. Like, damn, that could be really brutal. Like your opponents, I mean, if you could control it, like, just increase their blood alcohol level to just enough that they're staggering, not like knock them out cold. You could make a convincing fight.
Are we also saying too, like, he could use Katarina, who for some reason attracts every single male and female character to her? That maybe he uses them to attract them, like, and then they have such a good time that they get so knockout drunk the night before they can't fight the next day. I don't know.
I don't know.
Winning by forfeit.
Oh Jesus! I don't know. You know what? I'm sorry. I would give you part marks, but I don't know if I'm going to give you a full 5 on that one, man.
Yeah,
I'll give you a no.
Even turning blood into alcohol, you're going to run into that one guy who can take alcohol really well, and he's like trained in Drunken Fist or something, and he will just whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jean-Luc.
But isn't he like,
I'm not buying it.
Can't Nafumi not get drunk? Like, he's incapable of getting drunk.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true, yes. Nafumi cannot get drunk. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't trade you Naofumi, because maybe he could have defeated him in the tournament.
All right, well, I think, Jean-Luc, you have failed to meet the requirements. So, I don't know. What are we going to do? Like, because there's 5 of us voting, so should we give them, like...
Maybe.
I'll give him a no.
All right.
Yeah, my vote's no.
Okay.
I'd also vote for partial credit.
I'll make a
just
comeback
for
on the
creativity,
second round.
but
Yeah, I'll give partial.
So let's give you 2. We'll give you 2 out of 5 on that. There you go.
I'd be up with that.
Yay!
And
I've got second place.
Anybody opposed?
now, Terrence, I like I said, Terrence, I don't know, man. Like, aside from actually being like immortal, godly that way, you've pretty much got like a godlike power already.
Well, yeah, the only...
I mean, you're basically a god in physical form. Like, all you have to do is, like, kill another god to take their place, and you're basically set.
And let's face it, I mean, you've got... I mean, really, with Naofumi, I mean, like, you could potentially power him up to the point where he could take a hit from a god to give you the opening to take care of them.
Yeah, and I can create life from nothing. Well, and now I can create his companions.
Well, now you've got Issei with you. So, I mean, like, really, like, Issei, his power is almost like dragon godly. So, I mean, really, Yeah, I think you're pretty set, man. I can't see you failing with the power you have and the guys you've got on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
you hit nat 20 on goal and power, so I don't see
Yeah.
how you can screw this up.
Yeah. Yeah. Full points I'd give. Anybody else disagree?
Yep.
Yeah, I give 4
Yeah.
points.
All right.
I won't disagree.
All right. So there we go. All right. So here we are. None of us have lost any coins. Jean-Luc's in second place. With 5 other people tied for first. Okay. Holy, you know that we've been talking for like over an hour, almost like an hour and 40 minutes already. We haven't even done we just finished one round.
And the one we
Keep
prepared
going.
beforehand. So maybe we should
man.
keep it to 2 rounds.
Well, let's do the second round and see how that goes, and we'll.
Yeah, we could always.
Yeah, we still
we
gotta
could always,
roll.
We could always do this.
forever.
We could always do this another day. Like, this is pretty fun. So like, we could do this some other time, like in the future.
You're thinking.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah, well, let's do at least another round, and then.
Yeah.
Because I'm also thinking I
Yeah.
got to edit this puppy too at some point.
So,
all right.
okay,
So
have everyone roll for goals first?
okay. So no, let's do.
Sure.
How do you guys want to do? So we'll do goals first. So
Should we do powers, then goals, then party members?
Okay.
How is it on the sheet? Because I just want to do it the way it's...
D16.
it's goal first. So let's do goal first.
Okay, goal.
So there's
it's gonna be-
25 goals.
So D25.
Yeah. So
Yeah, D25.
One D25.
I rolled a 17.
And I rolled a 6. What's 6?
Gather a harem that includes a girl of every race of that world. Allies count. Okay, cool.
Okay, I got 15.
Oh
Oh
no,
boy.
I got
I've
it.
got
So-
I messed
25.
mine
I have
up.
23.
Oh.
Settle down and start a family.
Oh my god,
Okay, this is
who put that as a goal? Like, I've already done that goal. Come on. And I have no power.
So we're doing goal first.
Yeah,
25.
do a goal first.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got
Destroy.
destroy
demon
all
lord.
life in existence, including yourself when you're done.
Nice.
Thanks, Bio. Thanks a lot.
I have
No
to
problem.
defeat the demon lord and his army.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna roll power
Yeah,
now.
we all got to roll
16.
power now. That's what 16. Okay.
Oh, oops, I did it wrong.
So
yeah. I
Terrence?
got open a library. That's
I got one.
That's a tough one. I don't know how I could ever
Ooh.
accomplish that.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I can pick up chicks using this power.
8.
8 was my roll.
powers.
I
Okay,
got
you
8
also?
too. Who rolled it first?
Okay, 1d16.
I rolled it first, so you got to re-roll there.
Perfect
Oh no,
illusion.
hold on.
Okay.
No. Wait. Yeah. So Mirage, you got to roll again because I did that already.
Damn, because I would have really
11.
liked that.
So, something I didn't mention before, when I played any type of role-playing game, tabletop, I suck at throwing dice.
Oh,
And
I have the opposite. I rock at throwing dice.
Okay, now I rolled what Jean-Luc has, so I have to roll again.
Are we going to be rolling party members soon?
Just a second.
15.
I think there's not much left that hasn't been rolled yet.
I rolled the same thing I got last time. The ability to create life from nothing.
Oh my god.
Should I?
I got
Should I keep that? Like,
Whatever,
can
yeah.
I keep that?
Yes.
Keep it,
Okay.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm rolling my party members. I got a 44, a 14, and a 9. So number 9 is
Okay.
ooh, Barker and Test. Hell yeah!
Okay, it's party
so-
members.
I got Yuji from Barker and Test. That's gonna be fun.
Should
Okay,
we
so
tell everyone what
party-
we rolled for
for
powers?
party member,
first?
do we
3D.
just
I got
Yeah,
roll the
14.
first one?
3D.
No, do 3D48, and then we'll re-roll if we
Okay.
need to from there.
Dude, I got the character from the Mother Isekai. That's great.
Ooh.
42.
Well, I'm already quarter way to my goal. Yay!
Huh. Okay.
And I got a 44.
48. I haven't rolled yet.
Ooh, I got the student president dude from the Justice God.
You can roll. You can roll all three at once. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Should've
can.
just done
That's
that.
what I did.
Huh.
Because it rolls it 3 times.
I gotta repeat. So let me see. Just one repeat. I just gotta do one more.
So I have Horo. Should we re-roll those that were in the previous round?
Yeah, it's fine if it's fine. We'll
Okay,
be
so I
rolling
got
forever.
45, 25,
And I don't
20.
know the other two. Yahiro Takigawa and Koyomi Araragi.
Oh, I got Araragi too.
Koyomi Araragi, that's the main character from Monogatari.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I only
It's
saw
the
the anime, but
deconstruction, reconstruction of light novels.
Okay,
a while.
who rolled first, Mirage or me?
Who's me?
It was Mirage who rolled first.
Yeah, right before me. Okay. All right, you could keep him. I'll roll again.
I'll probably have to trade him anyway.
Taiga from Toradora. That should be fun.
Oh, man.
Third. I didn't roll the same one. No.
Now this would be
I already
something
got him.
where
Slime.
Katarina would really be helpful.
Slime. That's going to be pretty helpful.
28.
And 20.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn.
Something go right for you there, Kyle?
Oh, I got Nafumi again.
Oh, jeez.
I
Yeah.
got Katarina again.
Don't worry. This time I'll take her off your hands.
How am I gonna? How am I supposed to destroy all life? Oh God!
You can do it. I believe in you.
All right. I think I think everybody's locked in. We're good there. Okay, so this time around, I have to ascend to godhood in any way possible. My power is I can cast Perfect Illusion with a limit of 1 hour total per day. My party is Renko from Psycho-Mei, Issei Hyodo from High School DxD, and Haruhiro from Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. Like Issei, I can see working because, of course, he's already kind of straddling the world of demons, gods, angels, and stuff like that. Plus,
And whatever else goes bumping.
yeah, and
right?
whatever else comes along. Renko can kill crap real good. So, Haruhiro, he's a thief, he's a, tactician. I don't know. I don't think really, like I said, like Issei kind of helps me ascend to godhood, and Perfect Illusion, if I don't actually have to be, I guess the way I'm looking at it is that if I have Issei, he could help me try and figure out a way to actually become godly. Renko could be some muscle for me and sort of take out my enemies. And Haruhiro...
When you can convince her not to take you out.
Well, yeah, she can't fall in love with me, that's for damn sure. And
Just keep the gas mask on.
that's
it'll be great.
right. And then Haruhiro... See, what I'm thinking is I can cast Perfect Illusion, so if I can make people see things, then it would be easy enough to try and get, to manipulate people to worship me. It'd be easy to create, sort of a religion, like a cult, and get that sort of godlike status amongst them. And then we could so Haruhiro could help me plan that all out and plot it and, maybe help me figure out a way to swindle my followers of their possessions so that we can make the religion really rich. Renko can take out anybody that opposes us. And then Issei can help me work on actually ascending to godhood.
Yeah, that kind of planning might be a bit beyond Haruhiro's capabilities.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm probably pushing him too much. Yes, I agree. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like really, like I said, like Renko and Haruhiro. He say yes, but yeah, I don't know about the other two, man. All right, let's move on. Kyle, what do you think about what you got?
All right, I got to find books on every subject available and then open up a library. So I'm really aiming high there.
Well, it's the ascendance of a
Okay.
bookworm.
Yeah. Now, I could turn water into alcohol at will, and so that may come into play. But my
More
party
powers for next
members,
time.
are Charlotte Dunois. Is that how you
Yeah,
pronounce it?
Dunois.
From Infinite Stratus. So she was a girl pretending to be a boy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So she's very strong. I don't remember what kind of. I believe she has the backing of like big money. She might be nobility, something like that.
She's like French I think she's like French nobility.
So she's got the money and she's got the connections. So that's great.
And she's got her IS armor, which doesn't hurt either.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't see why I would need it. Just opening a library.
Well, but I mean, if you were trying to get every book in the world, like to be able to travel places really quick and, you know, if you ever got in a tight spot I don't know why the hell you'd get in a tight spot, but anyway.
Yeah, I think turning water into alcohol at will would
Loosen up enough people.
yeah, loosen up enough people. Or if I had to negotiate for books,
But you know
it's
what?
like, hey, I can get them drunk.
That's how you fund your library is you open up a distillery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another reason.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
My second party member is Sadao Mao
Yeah.
from The Devil Works Part-Time.
Yeah.
So I got the Demon King on my side.
Yes.
And he's got an entire world's worth of knowledge. And he also took over Ente Isla. So I don't know if you'd count that as his possessions, but at one point he did possess 75% of the human world.
Yep.
Yeah, but now he does
So-
possess a small apartment.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on where you're going, but still that demon connection is rather huge. Now for my third party member, Stephanie Dola from No Game, No Life.
That's the princess, isn't she?
Yes, that's the princess.
Yes.
And actually that's
She's-
a good role for what you
Yes,
want to
it
do.
is.
For your team, she's good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's trash.
Because Stephanie Dola, what she has is at one point, essentially, in that world, humanity, which is another word for humans, conquered everything. So at one point, that family line possessed all the knowledge in the world that was available. Now, over time, they've lost land. They've lost a lot of, just lost a lot of their power. But in their capital, they still possessed a pretty massive library, which even possessed knowledge that no other races had in which was a record of the Werebeast game that would have been completely impossible to beat otherwise. And so the two main characters, Shiro and Sora, they've used her knowledge to, essentially use it as a stepping stone to take over the entire world. So the amount of information she possesses is actually astronomical.
But it's not even.
So
But
it's
it's not even that. It's also the fact that, let's face it, like, even though Sora and Shiro make her look like crap initially, you get to like the third and fourth book, Stephanie Dola has become kind of badass. Like, she is a Class A negotiator. She carries herself with a very, she's still noble, so she carries herself with that air of strength and everything else. I mean, when you're talking about negotiating contracts to build your library, when you're talking about negotiating for buying books, when all those kind of things, like Stephanie Dola, I think, is a really good role on this one for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the kind of the underlying thing is finding books on every subject available.
Yeah.
And so she possesses a lot of knowledge, and she just has the resources and skills to make this a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
And then we got the connections, the otherworldly connections with Sadao Mao. And so that would make it even better. So I think this is a really, really strong lineup for my goal.
I agree. All right, Mirage.
Yeah, so my goal is to settle down and start a family. My power is unlimited light novel works, summons countless light novels from the heavens. So I'm not sure, can you sell your power to others for coins? Because that would insta-win Kyle's goal.
Yeah.
And for party members, I have Holo. I have Yahiro Takigawa from Testament of New Sister Devil. And Koyomi Araragi from Bakemonogatari. So I've seen the first season of Testament of New Sister Devil. I've just Googled the character. I remember the face and the mask, but I don't remember anything else about that character. I don't remember much of anything about the series, other than it was bad. Koyomi is someone that will probably not help me much with that goal. But if Jean-Luc is willing to part with Katarina, then that will be probably quite easy, because she will take an instant liking to my superpower.
Yeah.
All right. Bio.
Holo might also, but it's not as obvious as with Katarina.
Well, yeah, no. Fair enough. All right, Bio.
Yeah, so apparently my goal that I rolled is to gather a harem that includes a girl of every race in the world, allies count, and my power is I have a similar body with cosmetic changes and kick-ass martial arts skills. And my current party is Yuji Sakamoto from Butter and Test. I've got Mamako from Mother Two-Hit Combo. She's quite a beast in combat. And I have Ken Tsuragi from the student council thing. So, well, with kick-ass martial arts, I can probably pick up some chicks. And I've already got the first girl already, and I've got 2 wingmen. That's what I'm going to be using.
So...
Also, both the dudes I'm with are incredibly charismatic, so they can get a harem as well. Everyone wins.
We don't have that many other races in to exchange with.
Depends what world he's
Stephanie
in.
Dola
Yeah.
is not human.
Well, if I'm like in a Monster Girl universe, then I'll be fine.
Well, and we know from Mom and Two-Hit Combos, Mamako, if she thinks it's in your best interest, she'll help hook you up,
Yeah, exactly. I've got everything I need.
I think you got some of the better wingmans you could ask for.
Yeah, and I've already got a female to support me, and I've got 2 wingmen.
Yeah.
Martial arts, and I'm good at it apparently. And the other 2 I'm with are like tacticians and geniuses and stuff. So I've got everything I need. So yeah, I don't need to trade anything.
And luckily you're not related to Mamako, or else her her skill would activate that interrupts romantic encounters.
All right, Jean-Luc.
Okay. I'm indeed Chipoopoo again. Man. Oh, the dice really don't like me. Okay, so I got to destroy all life in existence, including myself, when I'm done, which probably won't happen. Okay, because my power is appraising anything by tasting it. Yeah, so I tasted the world and I thought it was shitty, so why not destroy it? Okay. And to help me, well, at least I have a good tactician. I have Yang Wei-Li from earlier. I also have Loloa Amidonia, but she probably won't find it lucrative to destroy everything. So, yeah, not too sure. And Katarina, pretty much useless for my goal. Yeah, so I'm screwed.
All right.
Was there anybody? Well, we haven't gotten into negotiation yet.
No.
But later, you'll have to look into what you could get from Mirage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Yahiro is a demon or something like that.
Yes,
I don't
Yahiro is
remember.
a demon.
Yeah. So that's
I
more
don't
world
know him,
destroyery
that's why
than Katarina, at least.
I'll just look up on Google.
All right. Well, while you look that up, why don't we go to Terrence and he can tell us what he's doing?
Sure. So my goal is to defeat the Demon Lord and his party, and I get bonus points if I destroy his castle entirely. So my power was the same from last time, which is the ability to create life from nothing. My first party member isn't too helpful. It's Taiga. So I don't know what she's going to do. She could act soon.
But haven't you heard the legend of the Pal Pop Tiger?
She can be tsundere, I guess. I don't know. And
she's actually pretty strong. So
is she?
I mean, yeah,
Like she could beat the crap out of the underlings, probably.
yeah. If we're going by Isekai like level up stuff, she could probably be like really, really just badass with enough EXP and whatnot. But yeah, she's not one to mess around with.
No.
Yeah, just pump everything into speed, stamina, and strength. It should be fine. Because she's small sized, like she'll be harder to hit.
So then my next few party members, I have a returning member in Nafumi, and I have a new member in Suaime. Now, Suaime is from The Magic in This Other World is Too Far Behind. He has magic ability from Suime. Yeah. So he has magic ability from his world, and he brought that obviously into that story. He's bringing that into this world. So he's got a lot of magic. Question is, would he fight for me? In The Magic in This Other World is Too Far Behind, Suime, he really doesn't want to participate at all with taking down the Demon Lord. In fact, he hates the fact that he's been summoned to this other world, which takes him away from his studies in his world. But kind of by chance, he gets involved with some other characters, particularly some female party members that join up with him. And I don't know where the story's going to go. I think I got to volume 3. So we'll see if he has somebody to protect. I think he might go out and hunt the Demon Lord down. But it's questionable because he let his best friends go out and hunt the Demon Lord, and he decided not to. No. And he's basically just searching for a way to go home.
Now, here's the thing, and this is where I think this character will work for you, is if the condition for going home is defeating the Demon Lord. Like that was because if I recall, I only read the first volume, but if I recall, that was part of the problem was that they basically said even if you defeat the Demon Lord, that's not a condition for going home. Like, you don't go home
Exactly.
just because you defeat the Demon Lord. So if you were in a world where defeating the Demon Lord was the condition you had to satisfy in order to go home, I think Suime would join up like right away. In fact, he'd be like, why are we pussyfooting around? Let's, get this done. So on the one hand, yes, you're right. You're screwed if it's not a way to go home. But on the other hand, if it is a condition that allows you to go home, I think you'd be good. I think he would totally join on board with you there. And again, like that was the whole thing. That he said he wasn't going to, like, it wasn't like he sent his friends out and was like, screw you guys. But that was his thinking, was that, they should be able to choose to go home when they come back from this. So I need to find a way to get them home. Right. So that was, yeah.
Also, he might be interested in your ability. So that might be a reason for him to help you.
Ooh, in what way? Because I'm trying to recall. Oh, because,
he's a mage.
Family
and
members.
He's interested in researching all kinds of...
does he want to research, like, the Akashic records or something similar to that? I don't know. But there's something he's trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's not really clear even at the end of Volume 8. But he's basically, every time he comes across a type of magic he doesn't know, that's something that interests me.
I mean, like, really, you can create life from nothing. You don't need party members.
And again, now Fumi's on the team again.
Like,
so I can power. Yeah, I can power level him by creating weak monsters and just sending them at him.
Well, let's put it this way. If we assume that this is like most isekais, and Taiga has the ability to become like a major brawler, because let's face it, she kicked a bloody lamppost over in our world, right? So, if we assume that Taiga could level up, she is easily going to become like a fighter. You've got Suime, who's your magic user, and then you've got Nofumi, who's your tank, and then you've got you, who can basically like create endless waves of backup. I mean, like, I think you're good. I mean, we don't even need to vote. I don't think. I think everybody's going to say, like, you kind of wrap this one up, like.
Yeah, even with his ability.
Oh, exactly. Like, you can create life.
I mean, you can just spawn in. You can actually spawn armies to fight the Demon Lord's armies, and then just battle them in his castle.
And like, think about it. It says you can create life from nothing. So I mean, you don't even have to like have dirt. You can just snap your fingers and like, boom, instant army. Like, that's ridiculous. Who created this broken ass power?
And how did I roll it twice?
Okay, so what about my party? Do I get max points?
Well, it's either me, Bio, Terrence, or Mirage. So one of us is at fault here.
Like, what? I mean, okay, well, I don't know. I mean, shoot. Like, honestly, Terrence, you just won this stupid game, man. Like, how are we going to, like, seriously, ability to create life from nothing. And all you got to do is defeat the Demon Lord, whatever.
And he got it twice.
I know. Like really, like, there's not even a limit. Like, it says create life from nothing. You could basically sit there and go, so tell me everything you know about the Demon Lord. Oh, and he's what level? Okay, snap your fingers. Now I've got a guy who's 10 levels higher than the Demon Lord. Bye. Like, really?
Yeah,
you don't even.
Terrence's second name is Thanos.
Yeah, you don't need, right? You don't even need a party. You got like the Infinity Gauntlet strapped to your arm. Jesus. Anyway, okay. Okay, well, let's see. So, does anybody want to try and negotiate people for their teams?
Yeah, Jean-Luc.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
I need help.
I really like Katarina.
Well,
and you can have Yahiro Takigawa and Adaragi if you want them.
Wow.
Wow. Like, I like his train of thought. Like, I need to settle down. These are guys. Out the windows. Choo. Choo. Well, I don't mind because I need firepower, man. And from the look of it, Yairo's goal seems to be to make that there's no more war orphan. So if you just get rid of everything, well, there's no more orphan there. Done deal.
Wow. Holy cow. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
All right. So who are you going to give him for Koyomi or Araragi?
Oh, won't matter much, but I'm already losing, so I can give him like.
You can give me 10 coins or something like that because
20 coin. Go.
20. Okay, thanks.
Wow.
I'm generous.
Look at that.
And yeah, is there something else that I could exchange? Because yeah, I don't think Rorom will be in on destroying all life. Because it's not very lucrative.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a straight exchange Renko for Roroa.
What does Renko do?
Kill people.
Renko's the murder queen. She's the she's the psycho one that kills everybody and loves to murder.
Like Jean-Luc should be in heaven.
Yeah.
Like that's like a dream scenario.
Yeah, go. I'll exchange. Go.
Okay.
I need to kill people.
There we go. All right. Okay. Because I was thinking, like, because, again, right? Because like we were saying, Haruhiro is not really great for planning things, but Roroa could get my religion up and running. So, and then that will make my ascensions to godhood a little faster if I have my own church and religion.
Yeah, because religion is lucrative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She's a way better, she's a way better for me than having Renko. She can get me to godhood a lot faster.
Well, Renko can send you to God, not to godhood, but to God.
Right? Oh, boy. All
At
right.
least she wouldn't have
so-
any problems with destroying all life in existence.
Well, that's what see, there you go. And like I said, she really wasn't doing a whole lot on my side, so. All right. Okay, so can we all agree that Kyle finding books on every subject and the fact that he can sell tons and tons of alcohol to make and fund his projects, plus he has, the Demon Lord, super armor powered girl, and a incredibly powerful negotiator, as well as royalty, that he's probably good for getting books and creating his library.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's much argument there. Can we all agree that I think Mirage can settle down and start a family?
That's really easy.
I think a 3 or a 4 for Mirage.
So the
come
only
on.
reason why I'm arguing, and also because Mirage is in the lead right now.
Wow.
but otherwise, so Mirage has Katarina.
Yes.
Katarina is one of the densest protagonists in light novels.
Yeah,
she
but
has
that's
so
only-
many.
That's only
so-
because all of her suitors in the novel are too stupid to tell her.
All
Well,
right.
the thing is,
Yeah.
she's got a omni harem. I mean, she's got men, women, everyone all going after her. And as he said, she's the densest character in probably all of light novels.
She's been
but the problem
she's been kissed. Yeah, she's been kissed on like the neck, and she thinks it's like a mosquito bite.
Yeah, no, she's so dense that we found a new element on the periodic table.
But the problem is that none of her suitors are able to tell her that they love her.
Or I think the main prince has mentioned it time before, but she doesn't believe it, and she just won't take yes for an answer. She's that just totally out
but
there.
that's because she has some preconceived notions about the characters she knows from the visual novel she's in.
Yes, and I think that's
doesn't extend to characters she doesn't know.
And that's, I think, the two things that are going to work in his favor. One, he can give her light novels like out the yin yang, apparently. Two, apparently he never has to worry about money because he can just have books and sell them like crazy. Third,
and Kyle will buy them.
And also
with
he's
alcohol.
got plus like you said, Katarina's not walking in there with preconceived notions, right? Like she's not afraid that he's going to kill her because that's what she had happen in the game. So there's already not that, and he's got the wise wolf. Like she's going to hook a brother up. Come on now. Like I mean I can't really argue. I think Mirage is probably okay. I don't really see how. I mean, agreed. Like Katarina's super dense, but again, I think half of that is the situation that she finds herself in.
Yeah, I think it would be an uphill battle, but generally,
it's doable,
30,
right?
40, it's
right?
Eventually.
Yeah, I say it's doable. I can't really argue that's not doable.
I would say no, but we'll see. Like, it would take a while, but I'm going to put no.
Well, that's what we're saying. Like, we're not saying it's going to be like, oh yeah, within a week they're married, but I mean, dude, I dated my wife for 6 years before we got married, so I mean, it's not like it's always an uphill battle, dude.
Just have tons of money. They'll make it a lot more easier.
And that doesn't guarantee anything. Although it makes
he could sell.
Although it makes
he
things
could sell
easier.
his light novels. He could sell his light novels,
right? Like he's got it's
so
the
money's
same,
no issue.
It's the same thing as like friggin' Kyle being able to turn water into alcohol. Like really, like you got guaranteed income forever. Like seriously, yeah. I got to give him
create
points.
something from nothing.
Yeah,
I'll say no.
I think you're just being difficult.
And I'm only being difficult because I know he's in the lead.
Yeah, well,
but I'm probably going to say yeah.
I don't think you can really argue it. Well, then it doesn't
I wanted
really...
to bring up.
We could do 4. Yeah.
Fine, give him 4.
I wanted to bring up every objection I could, but
he's
still, I agree.
He's still ahead because he's
I think
at
4 is
because
reasonable.
Jean-Luc gave me 20 points instead of the 10 I wanted.
He's still 2 points
He's
ahead,
still ahead of us. It doesn't matter.
or 1 point ahead of everybody.
Okay, so what about me?
Well, like honestly, I mean, you got 2 good wingmen. You got Mamako in your corner. You've already got. I mean, if she's not related to you, then you've already got one in your harem. So you're already ahead, dude.
And I'm also a kick-ass martial artist.
I mean, let's put it this way. What if the only planet that you're on has women? You've already won. Like, only as human beings.
Exactly.
You've already won.
And also, guess what? We're also the only 3 males on this planet.
So, yeah, I can't...
Time to colonize.
Yeah, so, yeah, I can't really say anything. Yeah, you're probably all right.
5 points.
I don't think you would be able to add Mamako to your harem.
It says allies.
She is married.
Yeah.
She's with kids.
Yeah, she is married.
With kids.
But I really do think that she would just help you out.
Oh, yeah.
Hook a brother up.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. And let's face it, man, like, Mamako is like a cool mom. Like, girls like a guy who has a cool mom.
Yeah, she would totally be on board.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She'd hook you up. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I say 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I can't disagree. So what do we think? Can I ascend to godhood if I can create perfect illusions for an hour a day, and then I've got a really great like marketing wizard plus like a dragon god plus, well, okay, a guy who's a thief, he's kind of useless, but whatever. I gotta have a wingman, I guess. I don't know.
I think you got good with starting a religion. So if you had the cult thing that I had last round, you'd be totally set.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you have a real way to godhood other than
Issei is the closest thing I've got.
Yeah, I think the only way to godhood you really have is for the religion to become so powerful that you're seen as a god.
Yeah.
In the
Pope,
minds of the people.
No problem, but God
Actually ascending to godhood, that's the problem, yeah.
If somehow your cult became powerful enough that a god took notice, do you have the firepower to then take out a god to become
well,
god?
And see, that's the thing. Like, that's where I was kind of like, honestly, I was going to try and negotiate to try and get Koyomi Araragi because I thought, a guy who's got kiss shot with him and, access to all of these other abnormalities and stuff, I kind of thought, like maybe that would, because, get me connected to the spirit world and all that kind of stuff. But really, like, how am I going to unload Haruhiro? Like, it's just not going to work. Not going to work. So, yeah, I agree. I can see it where I could easily be seen as a god. I might shamed some low level-ish power, but the ascending to godhood, I mean, even with the people that you guys have rolled, I don't think there's anybody in this group that would get me to godhood. I mean, Sadao Mao might get me close. If I could trade out Haruhiro for Sadao Mao, that would be at least another, lord in my sort of, but again.
Yeah, I'm not giving him up.
No, I know. I wouldn't give him up either. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. I would settle for like a 3, I guess, because like I can be seen as a god, but I'm not going to actually get to godhood, I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, 3.
Yeah, I think 3 is fair.
All right.
Yep.
And then there's Jean-Luc.
Again.
Oh, Jean-Luc.
Okay, so do I destroy life
like
or not?
Well,
I mean, Ranko could probably destroy all life, maybe, but she's not going to be able to obliterate the world.
She could destroy all life that gets before her knife, but
yeah,
not all life and existence.
And let's face it.
Oh, and existence.
And like Yang Wing Lee's not going to help you out, dude. And like, and the other thing is I mean, as much as Renko is really strong and everything else, I mean, Koyomi Araragi can survive that.
Yeah, I feel like Ranko would be really tough to control. She'd almost be somebody you'd have to let loose and then just run away from her and let her destroy everything in its path.
Until somebody put her down, yeah.
Yeah. Or she destroys everything and then she puts you down.
Well, the goal is for me to be out of there when everything is out, so...
Yeah, but I mean... but that a roll for appraise anything by tasting it, like, I mean, unless you tasted something, you were like, this crap could destroy the entire world,
and then you die before you release
I
it.
didn't think about it, like searching for a legendary super sword.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like you find this, dark demonic sword or whatever, you lick the, handle or whatever, and it's like, oh, this thing could destroy the world. I'll use this. But
there are 2 or 3 characters in the list that might be able to do this, but none of them in this round.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe give John Luc a 2.
Hajime might have been a contender.
If he can lick a sword, yeah, we'll give him a 2. We'll give him a 2. We'll give him a 2 if he can find a demonic sword to lick.
I let Renko start the job and somewhere, and then same thing. I just send the Yailo beat up bad people that cause war and stuff like that, while I try to find like super weapon hidden somewhere by licking pretty much everything.
And then you die of like hepatitis or something. All right, yeah, we'll give you a 2. I don't know. Jeez.
We're generous group.
We'll be generous. All right, well,
There wasn't anyone we picked that round that would have helped me.
no, I don't think so.
Should we go for the third round to see who's going to win?
Because
No.
it's been
Yeah,
2.5 hours, and honestly, like Mirage has already won by by a point. So there's nothing really.
Who's come second and who's come third?
Well, second is going to be Kyle, you, and Terrence,
Yeah.
and then I'm in third, and then Jean-Luc is in fourth. So there you go.
Okay, so let me
What a complete
calculate.
fucking shit show.
Well, it was.
I was hoping to get, if you actually got Accelerator, you could have actually probably destroyed the
Well,
world.
yeah, you could have maybe. Yeah. Well, that's what we were saying, right? Like there were other characters. You know what? When I do the notes for this, I'll post all the different characters and powers and stuff that we had to choose from.
Yeah.
Because just
Maybe post the rules, because maybe somebody will want to.
somebody else wants
it
to
on their
play
own.
later on. Yeah, and of course you
Yeah.
can add your own stuff to it. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
There's nothing set in stone by this. This is just, like I said, we just decided to do something kind of silly and different and try it out and see what happened. And I guess you, the listeners, will tell us whether it was a successful experiment or not. All right.
And
so,
if you want us to do it again.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would like to, like, we are, so here's the plan for you listeners. So like I said, the next episode, we're going to cover all of the light novels that were announced at Anime Expo. Fingers crossed that there's a lot of them and there's some good ones. Fingers crossed. Then the next episode after that, we are going to be talking about the first 2 volumes in the Faraway Paladin. And then after that, we will be discussing Arifureta. We are waffling between 3 or 4 volumes. And by that point, the anime...
I mean, I can get through a couple of volumes in a week. Like, it's no
Yeah,
problem.
well, I'm also thinking about myself. And plus, I don't think that... I guess, you know what? By that point, we should have at least, 3 episodes out? So
We can kind of sit on.
So we can kind of see how fast they're pushing through the, you know what I mean? Like if we get past,
Can we at least go up? Can we at least go up to the third volume, because that's when they meet the dragon
definitely
girl?
Definitely third volume. We'll do that. Definitely third. It's just,
I mean, maybe we can push for a fourth, but maybe we should stop at maybe 3 will be the minimum, because
oh yeah, definitely 3. Because that, like you said, there's a major character introduced in 3. We definitely want to talk that. So, and there's a lot of other stuff that happens in 3 that I think is good to talk about. So yeah, definitely 3.
Yeah, because actually nothing much happens really much in 4. Number 6 is pretty spicy. What happens in volume 6?
Well, we're not going to go to volume 6.
No spoilers.
So anyway, no spoilers. Yeah, no. So anyway, so yes. So we'll do Arifureta, at least the first 3 volumes, and maybe talk a little bit about what has come out of the anime at that point, because there should be at least a couple of episodes out. And then, the sky's the limit beyond that. So there you go. So a very different light novel podcast. Let us know in the comments, what'd you think? Like, what should we do stuff like this again? Would you prefer the format where we just talk about a particular series? Like I said, when we do Anime Expo,
I actually like the idea. Like, I like the prototype idea we had, where we'd like pick characters in an RPG party and just explain why would they be useful to have in an RPG party.
Yeah, well, we can try different formats and do different things. I mean, I've kind of thought that, as much as I love us talking about particular series, I kind of thought it would be cool if we mixed it up with some other stuff. Yeah, also
it's also a 1 year anniversary, so you got to do something special.
Yeah, we wanted to do something different and fun, and so all right. So anyway, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me, not just tonight, but over some of our recordings over the past year or so. Thank you, listeners, for listening to us for the past year or so, and we hope that we will be here for quite a while yet. And like I said, in our next episode, we will be talking about all of the light novels coming out from Anime Expo. Until then, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now. For show notes and related links, visit lightnovelpodcast.com.